All right. Queen's Court. Let's do it. The queen gets to set this one up. I have made the mistake in the past to try to introduce this too much. Essentially, I'll give it a short introduction. Queen's Court, we play every Tuesday. Emily's in charge. We all have to bring a stock idea either as an investment or a trade. It could be one or the other. We present that idea and the queen gets to decide whether or not it was good enough or whether she chops our head off, Greg. So Queen, you're up.
Well, yeah, that's exactly how it goes. And it appears that even when I want to give mercy to any one of you guys, Team Tackle always wants to see blood. So it has come to the point that there has to be blood on the table every single week. So
they never say that, by the way. They always are begging for mercy. I even saw
that's not how the queen interprets it. I just know I want to see blood.
All right.
But since Greg, this is his first appearance on Queen's Court, I will let you go first and let me see what you have to present for Queen's Court.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and make it my best so that I don't lose my mind or my head, whichever comes first. I'll tell you something right now, something I've been paying attention for a while, and I still think there's a lot of potential to this, is Apple. If we can pull up the Apple chart for me there. So obviously an extended run here. M's already got some stuff written on there, so that's all good too.
Greg, you live. You don't even have to go any analysis. Do it for Team Tackle. You survive. You're not dying.
So I've been watching this obviously since it hit the I think that's your 200 there, the green. And I just like the way Apple's setting up. Obviously, with the tech sector doing a little bit better and communications, this has been doing all right. I think where we are right now, we're at a double top. So if it trims sideways for a few days, it would not surprise me at all. But I really like this breakout where we are right now. And the way I like to play it, I should mention too, we've actually got, this is almost a triple top, I would say. There's also some stuff back there as well. So the way I like to play this with Apple is a diagonal spread. I think this thing it's been moving nice for the last couple of weeks. Like I said, it might need a day or two to cook before it breaks out, but once it breaks this current level, I think we're pushing back up to 145 and then ultimately a new high. And I'd want to take advantage of both delta and theta when it comes to this, because the difference in personality, if you kind of look at this chart, you look at the candles on the left versus the candles on the right. The candles on the right are moving, they're smaller and they're moving much slower. Whereas, Apple had a different personality 6 to 8 months ago. So what I like here, like I said, take advantage of theta and direction. And, you've got some cheap options to buy because implied volatility is down. I would expect at some point we get a rise in that, which would help your long options. So buy one, sell one, go long term with your long option, sell short term. And I just think you get a nice little run out of Apple here. I would probably go out to the September at the very least and go right at the money or slightly into the money. So I would be happy to buy the 135. And then I do this, the way I play these, I like to do weekly or bi-weekly options. So I probably go to the July 9th as my first sell. And then I want to look at the expected moves about 375. So I'd like to get above that. So 375, so about 130, 140. I'd be looking to sell the 140 on this. So you end the trade for 616 bucks. You get to sell. You'll probably, if you do this bi-weekly, you've got probably 4 or 5, maybe six more sells before it's all said and done. And if we hit that short strike, we can roll it up and up and up. And just get to take advantage of direction and theta all at the same time.
All right. I will give you my analysis and my thoughts on this after everybody else has kind of gone. So Mark, you are up next.
And I was in my head, obviously, Queen, I wanted to give you some high-class travel today in my head, because I was debating airplanes because I do think that there's cash flow opportunities at the bottom of the ranges. We were talking about that a little bit, but we already talked about that. So I don't want to piggyback off that. And I know you're going on vacation. I want to send you off in style in a big rocket ship. And I also want to give you a cash flow trade that you don't have to think about. You don't have to think about. Now, you know how I love a theme. Well, this recently in the last few days, the FFA approved that individuals, now the royalty like you, I'm sure already had this luxury, but individuals like myself and Greg and Tim, we're now allowed to fly into space as individuals, as citizens, as commercial. They've approved that now, and I think that that approval creates a multi-year, if not multi-decade theme. And I also think it's one of those themes that's going to be a long way off, which from a cash flow perspective can create us a lot of opportunities. Give me Virgin Galactic Space, SPCE. Now, I know you're going on vacation and you do not want to think. Let's pull up the chart here. And I'm going to give you a stock that's down 13% today. Now, but in this market, that I don't necessarily trust, I always still think there's opportunities. And I'm also one of those individuals who have constantly preached, anyone that's followed me on high volatility and any of the shows I've done the last 8 months, been like, we don't chase this, we don't chase this, we don't chase this. But one of the things that huge, massive moves to the upside do is they create really good cash flow opportunities way down the option chain. We've seen this in GameStop. We've seen this time and time and time and time again. Big moves up, they're not sustainable, but they create such option volatility that down the chain, way down the chain, we can pick up some nice cash flow trades. And so when I look at space, I'm like, all right, so I got this thing. Now I've traded space several times because I like the concept of space. Maybe it's the sci-fi nerd in me. Whatever it may be, but I've traded space related stocks and I don't have a lot of them multiple times over the last year, like the volatility, like the area, like the premiums, to be honest with you. And when we get these big volatility takeoffs, and give me the August chain, whether it's a market I trust or a market I don't trust, I think that there's real good opportunities clear down there. And so I know you're going on vacation. I know you're going on vacation. You want cash flow trades that you don't have to hyper manage. And one of the things I love about exploding volatility is I can go clear down to the 20 strike price in August. And I can pick up a nice premium relative to the strike price I'm selling it at. And I don't do it blindly, right? I don't do it blindly. I also look, where did recent bottoms form on charts? Where did some of those bottoms form along the way? And if I input these shares, if for some reason we have a sudden massive sell-off after a big thing that happens just in a matter of weeks, is it a price level I can comfortably cash flow at? I think $20 for me represents a price level that if I'm put those shares, I can cash flow this indefinitely, easy stock to cost average down. I think it has legs long-term from a thematic standpoint. It is just one of those classic stocks in one of these speculative growth areas. Be very, very careful chasing on the way up because you don't want to be a bag holder. But you don't want to ignore the volatility, especially when it is a company that has some longevity to it. When it's a company that has some ability to produce constant high returns over time. I think you pick your spots in this space. It's a space that's treated me very well, no pun intended, this year, these high volatility stocks. But I think it's one of the mistakes that traders have made in this area, that when things take off, I have so many puns in this thing that I didn't even intend, right? Take off, space. Like I'm not even meaning to say they're just naturally coming up. That instead of chasing price like a rookie, let's look down the chain and find some of those big fat premiums. And I think space represents this example, is that even when I don't like the market conditions as a whole, there's always opportunities popping up. always opportunities popping up. And so many things, daily moving averages, weekly moving averages, old resistance acting as new support, that buffer price action on the way down. I think the sell-off today provides some of those nice premiums down below. The increased volatility on the news of FAA approval provide a nice theme. It's a nice conservative trade, but it's an easy to manage trade. It presents space today.
Thank you very much, Mark. Tim?
All right. So couple thoughts. Number one, I'm calling inaudible. All right.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid, Tim?
I realize if I don't step my game up, I'm getting floated. My head's going to get chopped off. I can see the writing on the wall. In fact, I see what's the guy who chops heads off? I can't remember his name right now. The executioner.
Executioner.
He's sharpening his axe, and I know it. I can feel it. I'm going to take a different approach and just trash these two guys' picks. No, I'm not. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. No, actually, they both provided pretty good analysis, pretty strong picks for why they did it. I could see the Queen getting interested in a couple of them. She's got a vacation coming up here in a couple of weeks, though. I'm not certain she's going to want to manage those volatility trades. We'll see, though. Give me applied materials if you can. AMAT. I'm going to stay on theme in the current market. Now, I so wanted to pick Goldman Sachs and bring it to you, Queen. I just want to give you that information up front. That was my pick coming into the day. That was my pick for the week. That might be my pick for the month and for the quarter, quite frankly. The only hesitation I have, we got earnings coming up. I get that, but this is not trade analysis here. 9 PE ratio on the backs of what the banks announced and what they're doing there. I think eventually rotation comes back into financials and Goldman leads. But I want shorter term stuff, and I'm going to give you the opportunity for a quick little hitter, cash it in, go on vacation, and enjoy that vacation even just a little bit more. AMAT you can approach from many, many different areas. Anybody who's been a veteran of tackle trading, you already know this has been on our Tackle 25 for years and years and years and years. It is one of the strongest fundamental companies in semiconductors. It is a growth company. It also pays a small dividend, even being a growth company. And it's had tremendous performance from a price performance. But you also know, Emily, you're a covered call trader, and those cover call premiums are also very, very juicy. If you're looking for an in and out before you go to vacation, you can just play this breakout right here. It's developing on theme. Look at technology. Let's kind of come through the markets here. XLK, if you can, real quick. Tech has been the leading sector in the market here for the better part of a month, right? SMH semiconductors, from almost the first month I ever learned anything about the stock market, I was told, hey, listen, semis lead the markets and they lead tech. They're one of the first industries within the market that's going to start showing you moves. And SMH broke out this week, guys, of a multi-month consolidation. If you want the simple approach to it, you could just go with SMH. There's nothing wrong with that. I love AMAT enough to where I think there's something there individually on the company itself that can be played. Earnings early May. So now, Emily, you know that's every 3 months. We've got about 6 more weeks. It's going to be early August until their next earnings report. You've got time to let that cook and work itself out. You could play it directionally if you choose to. Okay, there is a pivot point at 146 that's in play. That could either be T1 or you could wait for another confirmation of the breakout. I don't think you got to wait for 146 personally. I think this little consolidation over the last month is tradable now, personally, but that is up to traders' eyes and traders' discretion. Look around some of the other stocks in this industry who've already started to pick themselves up a little bit as well. Market darling AMD. Look at the rally AMD has had up off of the lows here recently. It's been incredible, just a really, really good move. Taiwan Semiconductor, another very sound fundamental company, picking itself up here recently, looking like reversal characteristics. Neither of those charts are as good as AMAT. Okay. As I come back to applied materials and I was going through the stocks in this industry, this is the one that caught my eye from a strength perspective. I love the SMH chart. Technology is leading the market right now. We can come back to boring financials after they work through that theme, because that thing about dividends and buybacks, that's not a 1 week theme. That is a multi-month, if not a full year theme potentially in the making. I'm going with AMAT as my pick here today.
Okay. Wow. All right. Some
hear
really
it.
good stuff. Well, Greg, first of all, Apple, great pick on Apple. I don't know if I would have done the 10-day. And again, every trader and investor has their own preference. I like to do, the monthlies as well, and maybe do I like to do the weeklies as well, but maybe try to get somewhere between, that 25, 30-day range. And again, it all depends on how, wide those bid and ask spreads are, but it's Apple. So it's very liquid, right? So I love the pick. I probably wouldn't go with the 10-day out, but again, to each his own, right? That's why we have all these different options, right? So I would probably find something in this range here and try to see what I can pick up some premium here, because I'm more, more on the passive investing type, type stuff. So I love the 80-day out. So the September one, that's a great one to have, giving you enough time. It's, options are not that expensive right now. I mean, to pick up Apple at the money, for $6, 650 is not that expensive. And then you come here and try to find something here to sell against it and pick up a little bit more cash flow is where I would look at it. But as far as Apple is concerned, I absolutely love it. Love the pick. You survived, my friend. I would never chop you off on the first day that you are on Queen's Court anyway. So it didn't matter what you're going to present. You get to live.
Nice. I hear an axe grinding there, Tim, just saying.
Mark, you and I are starting to see eye to eye. The more and more we do Queen's Court, the more you and I start to see eye to eye, because you're just bringing me all the good stuff. I normally wouldn't do 52 days out, but I know why you did that for me. It's because I'm going on vacation and I don't want to have to worry about this. So that's awesome. And then look how far off, you are. This is a 3 delta and you're picking up 40 cents premium on a 3 delta. So the volatility is definitely there. So even as the market is kind of slowing down and you're not getting, premiums on other things, you're definitely getting it here on space. So really, really great analysis on in terms of your theme and why you picked this, and just the overall theme on everything is just great on this one. I love that it's at a price level where you're comfortable buying it. If you have to pick up 100 shares at $20, that's pretty much anybody can afford buying 100 shares at $20. So love where it's sitting at in terms of the support level. You get all this distance for where it has to go. It has to clear that support zone there. Then it has to come down and clear this one and all those moving averages here. So really, really love it here in terms of that. Not something that I would normally trade, but I wouldn't mind looking into it and adding it to my portfolio just for the cash flow, just for where the delta is and how far away it is. And you guys know, I like to look at the charts, the cushion, and the cash flow, and make sure that I, all those things line up. And I didn't run the ROI on this, but I'm pretty sure it's enough. If I'm getting paid $40 on about $200 margin, that's decent enough for for kind of like where I like to trade. So not bad at all. So Marky, you survive.
Thank you, my queen.
That leaves the one and only Tim. Now, your pick on AMAT is actually really good. Really love it. Absolutely love it. I'm just chopping your head off because you didn't know who Hobbs and Shaw was from yesterday's halftime report. That's the only reason I'm chopping you off. You just find ways to you just look for ways to just get your head chopped off. Nothing to do with the analysis of AMAT. I actually absolutely love it. Significant whole number on the breakout there. You can, like you said, you can do a covered call. You can do pretty much anything on AMAT. It is a darling of tackle. So I would never chop you off on a tackle darling. However, you're just getting chopped off because you did not know who Hobbs and Shaw was from.
All right.
The halftime report
All
yesterday.
right. Well, enjoy your space
I
flight. I
would enjoy flying in
my
space.
head is rolling down the hill.
Yeah, your head is actually floating in space right now. It's been rolling. It's been rolling for like 2 minutes now.
Oh, goodness. But you do like the AMAT play. Let me ask you a question real quick. Kind of, we'll break the fourth wall here. If I stayed with financials, would I have gotten also chopped?
Most likely. Most likely. You would have gotten chopped.
I was getting chopped no matter what here,
You were
Greg.
getting chopped no matter what.
See, this is like real royalty, right? They've already decided before you get in front of the court jester what's happening, right? So,
Team
Yeah.
Tackle knew it as well. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of gave it away yesterday during the labs. And by the way, we had our first lab last night, and it was super awesome. It was so good to see all of Team Tackle there last night. So yeah, I kind of gave it away last night when we had our labs last night that I was going to be chopping your head off today. So they were all waiting for it.
Listen, it's the game, and I know it. So, what I might start doing is bringing some more controversial picks. See if I can get some past the queen. But no, I feel good about it. That's fine. My head's rolling down the hill, so we're going to wrap up this show.